Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash the True Inferno. And I'm back with, you guessed it, another Throwback Tunes on another Thursday. And I am reviewing a Slum Village album. It's been a long time since I've done that. The last Slum Village album I did was a Detroit Deli. Really, it's called Detroit Deli, and in parentheses, a taste of Detroit, excuse me. So, here's the scenario with this album I'm reviewing. First of all, the Slum Village album I'm reviewing is called, well, Slum Village. Yeah, that's what it's called. So it's their 5th studio album. It came out October 25th, 2005 on the independent label Barack Records. I hope I said that correctly. So there's no word on how long or how many years it took them to record this album, but the album release included a bonus DVD which includes footage on the making of the album, as well as an interview with T3 and LZ, I hope I pronounce his name rather, on the group's history. The DVD also features Slum Village first 2 music videos, Climax, and then parentheses Girl Shit, and the other one, Raise It Up, from the album Fantastic Volume 2. Now, the first and really only single, if you can even call it that, from this album was called Ease Up. We'll get more on that later. And I'll let you know why that is considered a single. So, there are a grand total of 13 tracks, and there's 1 skit. So that means there's only 12 songs on this album. And whether there's 12 songs or 13 songs, I can only give you a top 3, not a top 5. And that, to me, is a damn shame. Now, before I get on with the track listings, this album did make some charts. It was number 80 on the top R&B/hip hop albums charts, and it was 33rd in the independent albums chart. So that's pretty interesting. Now, let's get on with the singles. Not the singles, but the tracks. The first track is called Giant, followed by Set It. Track number 3 is called Can I Be Me, followed by Call Me featuring Dwele. Hopefully I said that. Dwele, how you pronounce that? D-W-E-L-E, that's his name. Track number 5 is called 05, followed by 1-2. Track number 7 is called Multiply. I like how the last 2 tracks involve numbers, and then track number 7 is called Multiply. Track number 8 is called More Numbers. 1-800-SLUM. Yes, I crap you now. That's track number 8. And actually, that's the skit right there. Track number 9 is called Here It Is, featuring Fat Cat, PH, not an F, and Black Milk. Track number 10 is called Def, D-E-F, Do Us, followed by Hell No with an exclamation point, featuring Black Milk again, and QD. Track number 12 is called Ease Up, featuring Jay Isaac. We get more on that a little bit later. And track number 13 is called Fantastic. That's the last track off this album. So, let's talk about Ease Up. Well, Ease Up was notable for appearing in a commercial to promote the 2005 Chevrolet HHR, excuse me. And I believe that vehicle is discontinued. So no, I think actually, yeah, it is discontinued. So it stopped in 2011. So yeah, it is discontinued. So, and that's it. That's all the info there is for Ease Up, for that single. It didn't make the charts. There's no background info in it. There's no music video for it, if memory serves me correctly. But it's the only single off of that album. So, yeah, that's it. Now, let's get on with my favorite tracks off this album from the bottom on up. Starting with the worst track off this album, which is called 112, followed by Here It Is. It's unique, and it's a tad bit underrated, in my opinion. Next track off this list is Def Do Us, and the drum pattern is really unique in that one. Followed by Can I Be Me, which is really cool, but I don't like the snare much. Alright, so now we get to the really good stuff. So, Giant, the bass line in that one is dope. Then we got Set It. It's kind of unique, but it's still dope nevertheless. Fantastic. I really like this one as well. That's one of my favorites right there. And then, of course, we get to my all-time favorites right here. I crap you not. Starting with the 5th best track off this album, which ironically called 05. I crap you not. That's one of my favorites right there. One of my all-time favorites right there. Hell No, featuring Black Milk and QD. That's another one of my all-time favorites right there. Now, let's get on to my top 3. The best track off this album is Call Me, featuring Dwele, how you pronounce his name. That one right there is one of my all-time favorite tracks. I still listen to it to this day. Actually, the top 5 tracks off this album I still listen to this very day. But Call Me, really like that one, dog. Really like the tempo, the beat, really like the drum patterns or the drums kit that was used in this one. So yeah, really, really dope. I like Call Me, dog. The second best track off this album is called Multiply. That's again another one of my overall favorites right there, dog. And it was close. It was really, really close as far as what do I want as my, not as mine, but what do I think is the second best track off this album? It was between Multiply and Call Me. And I went with Multiply because I like the setting here more. It's a bit more mellowed down, while Call Me is more clubbish and hype, but it's still dope. But Multiply is a little tiny bit doper in my opinion. It was really close. It was really, really close. I was thinking of considering a tie for that number 2 spot between Call Me and Multiply, but I went with Multiply. I felt that Multiply is a little bit doper than Call Me. And the best track off this album is Ease Up, without question. And if I was to do a top 10, all-time top 10 favorite songs, maybe top 15, this could make the list. It could make the list. It is really that dope. Like, the beat is amazing. When I saw the commercial, I heard that beat, I'm like, oh man, I think that's Slum. And then I think they even said in the commercial that was Slum Village. And at that point, I heard about them from Selfish and then that album Detroit Deli. And of course, I got that album. And of course, I reviewed that album a while back. But Ease Up, I heard that drum, I'm like, oh man, I gotta get this album. And I found the album that this song was in. Glad I got it. Glad I got it. Ease Up, without question, the best track off this album. It is extremely dope. Now, let's get on with some professional ratings. OK Player, 4 out of 5 stars. That's it. That's the only one. Yep. So, with all that out the way, wow, we just cracked the 7-minute mark. What do I think about this album? Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, I'm gonna need you to say this with me, okay? You should, okay, judging by my reaction, judging by the excitement coming from my voice, you should know what I'm going to rate this album. So, say it with me now. I'm gonna say it slow. 1, 2, 3. This is a 5 out of a freaking 5. Yes, this is a 5 out of freaking 5 without question. I just say this is Slum Village's best album to date, as far as I know. Now, obviously, they've done a number of albums over the years, and actually, I think there's 4 of them that I haven't heard. No, 3 of them that I haven't heard yet. But I heard every album that they did from their first one, which is called Fantastic Volume 1, up to Fantastic Volume 2, Trinity, Past, Present, Future, Detroit Deli, obviously, and Slum Village. Also, the one after this one, Villa Manifesto. But after that, I have not heard any Slum Village album. That need to change, actually. So they came out with one in 2013 called Evolution, excuse me, followed by Yes, maybe a reference to Daniel Bryan. That came out in 2015. And then this one came out this past November called Volume 0, maybe a reference to Fantastic. So, but yeah, though, man, I need to check out those last 3 albums, see what they're all about. But at this point in time, without listening to the 3 albums, Slum Village by Slum Village is their best album ever. It got too many classics. It got too many fantastic songs. It got too many songs that are like overall my top favorites. So there's no way I can rate it any lower than 5 out of freaking 5. You should have a physical copy of this album in your collection, especially if you're from Detroit. Especially if you're from Detroit. All right. So yeah. Also, you should have Detroit Deli as well if you're from Detroit. But Slum Village, this album, definitely if you're from Detroit. 5 out of 5. You should have a physical copy of this album in your collection. So, with all that out the way, man, y'all know who this is. This is the new Jay Gatsby, aka the new Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Oh!